Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video I'll be covering AP Computer Science A Topic 1.1, and I'll probably be covering the other units as well in other videos. So Unit 1 is basically the framework or like the foundation for the entire course. You have to know everything Unit 1 to move on throughout the rest of the course. So this is the easiest unit. It weighs about 5% on the AP exam. But I'm just going to go ahead and start off this video by talking about the skeleton. We're going to talk about the skeleton of the program, talk about main method, talk about printing, and then string literals. So it should be a pretty easy video, it should be pretty short. So I just want to go ahead and start off with the skeleton. So you can see that in our code right here, we have public class in my program. So basically, if we look at my program here, and then we look at the name of the file, you can see myprogram.java. So anything after the class, after public class, must be the name of the file. So you can see my program, and then we have myprogram.java. So obviously you don't want to put .java here, so you just put my program. And then everything inside of these curly braces here is where your code will go. Now you'll notice inside of the class we have public static void main string args. And this is not important for Unit 1. I'll go over this in probably topic 2.1, I believe that's what it is. So all you have to know is that when Java goes to compile or run this code, it'll look for a main method and it'll execute the code inside the main method. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about how we can do prints and all that. So the first thing I want to cover is what a string literal actually is. So if we do double quotation marks, this would be a string literal. And anything that we can type on our keyboard could go inside of these quotation marks. So if we just type random gibberish, this would be an example of a string literal. And now I'm just going to get into print. So we can use string literals to print messages to the console. So obviously, if we type some random gibberish on the keyboard, this isn't going to appear in the console. This is just going to result in an error. So if you go and click run, obviously it's not going to work. So how do we print a message to the console? Well, there's two different methods that you can use for printing. The first method is system.out.print, and the second method is system.out.println. Now, I'll be showing the difference in a second, but print line just basically moves the cursor down one line, whereas print stays in the same line, but I'll show what that looks like in a second. So if we go ahead and do system.out.print, and then add a semicolon to the end. I've never used this IDE before, so I don't know what just happened there. But we can go ahead and add our string literal right here. So just do double quotation marks, and if we type hello world, do Control S or save it however your IDE saves it, and then you click run. Hello world prints to the console. Now, what you'll notice is that if we drop down another line, so let's just remove the world from hello world here. And if we drop down another line and then we do world, you'll notice that it will print hello world altogether. Now, the reason that this is happening is because we're using print instead of print line. So if we want to go down a line, we're going to have to use ln at the end. So if you go to print and we do ln, it's going to print hello, and then it's going to move the cursor down. That's what the ln does. It moves the cursor down one line. And then, so our next print should be on that line. So there we go, hello world. And then if we were to make this ln, you'll notice that the cursor right now is right here. But with the ln, if we run the program, you'll see that the cursor can actually go down to this third line here. So that's basically how print and print line works, and that's basically all of 1.1. And there should be a link to 1.2 somewhere in this video.